Hi, you guys. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification button before you forget. So this video is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 12, Episode 19, Recap and Gossip Sesh. I'm going to rely on the fact that you heard my live with Your Moms Are Watching that was done last week where we covered Episode 18. We established a lot of tea in that episode, and so I'm kind of going to go off the fact that you know some of that going into this video because, you know, I don't want to recreate that live. Okay, because a lot of that was about this episode that we're seeing tonight really play out. I have a lot of thoughts about this week's episode, and I'm looking forward to hearing yours in the comments. So let me know what you guys think. And I'm excited, so let's get going. Hi, you guys. Also, I just want to say, we knew who the legal benefactor was in the Patreon back in July. So I just want to give, I'm going to show you the post. And I just want to say, again, if you want really, really hot ahead of time gossip, get in the Patreon. Okay, the link is in the description. Okay, look, see the date on the top? That's from the Patreon. July 25th. See, I told you. Bonus audio, Erica Girardi legal fees benefactor exposed. Explosive lawsuit explained against Erica Girardi and Tom Girardi implicating Mauricio Umansky and Rick Hilton, and then the rest. And actually, we got more receipts on that Phipps White case that make it look like it could be true. So I'm just saying, and that's in the Patreon too. And I talk about that, I think it was this last Tuesday's episode or the Tuesday before. Okay, so there's a lot of little BS subpoints in this episode, which is basically should Garcelle have talked about Erica Jane Girardi on The Real and whether or not she should have come clean and said she did so about Erica Jane Girardi and the earrings. By the way, Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live last night made sure to call out that she's returned the earrings. But I just want to say, she did return the earrings and they're in escrow, and the trustee won the right to sell the earrings, and then she appealed it. So she's fighting like hell for those earrings. And I didn't like how he left it for the fans to think that somehow she's given those earrings back and they're in the process of being sold for the victims. It was so misleading. And I was like, you shady man, you shady, shady man. Okay. So the bottom line is she's still fighting for the earrings and the earrings are still locked in escrow. Okay. Something else really bothered me about episode 19. And this was the subplot that Erica Jane Girardi apologized to Sutton on the plane. And Sutton's like, is the plane crashing because she apologized? Well, I listened to what Erica said. I didn't think that was an apology. It was a stretch. I didn't hear I'm sorry. I heard a bunch of explanation. And Sutton says, well, I think I'm going to believe this apology. But why? Because she said on camera last season that she, was lying in the last apology. So, I mean, to me, I'm just going to say it. You guys, I do the behind the scenes. I think the producers produced that apology. Okay. I don't believe it exists. And I also think that, Garcelle is not giving in to the producers pushing for that. Just saying. You guys had so much fun figuring out that Casa del Sol, which Kathy Hilton invested in was owned by Eva Longoria originally, and I thought you guys might enjoy some information. She actually founded the company with Steph Sebeg, and she did the launch of that tequila in 2021 with Steph at Casa Tua, which she also owns in Aspen during the Food and Wine Festival. And they did do a raise in 2022, which I do believe is when Kathy Hilton and maybe some of her friends and family invested in the tequila. Here's the information on that. They raised, there you go, 1.9 million on May 24th, 2022. This is Steph Sebeg. He's actually the owner with Eva Longoria and then now the other investors from 2022. And he's an advertising expert. Actually, I was really surprised because he's been working in the ad agency business back in the day when I was. See Razorfish? So I used to have an ad agency that was a big .com builder back in 1999 to 2001. And we were competing directly against the Razorfish guys. And in fact, I think I was like in an article with them in a magazine. Anyway, I was shocked to see he worked for that company. But what did he do in that company? Let's see. Oh, they didn't say. Anyway, I didn't know the New York people, only the LA people out of Razorfish, but they were so smart. Basically, we were bringing in more revenue than Razorfish, but because I didn't have any bankers advising me on, I just, I couldn't grow and compete at the level they were. They exited like for so much money, and I was like, wow. That's when I knew, never do a company without a banker advising you. I bring this up because obviously it's possible Kathy Hilton may have gotten shares in this company in exchange for bartering exposure on the show, like product placement. Maybe she also gave money into the company too, but I'd say it was linked in some way to her promoting it on the show, and she maybe didn't want to tell Bravo that. I don't know if she disclosed it or not. But I'd say that was why she was pissed. It wasn't just straight up being snubbed about promoting her tequila. That's just my gut from being in product placement for like over 100 movies. I'm just going to say that's my feeling. My feeling is that. Okay, so let's cut the crap now and get into the real story of episode 19, which is Kathy Hilton's meltdown and everyone's testimony as to what happened and how it's different and what the hell was really going on.
We tried to go in her room. It was pitch dark, sleeping, and then she had text saying, I'm not flying back on the plane.
Well, I didn't see her when I went home at 2.
She's still sleeping.
Obviously.
Kathy's not on the plane with us today because she had a breakdown at the nightclub that we were all at, that we saw.
Everybody knows. They do. I talked about it with Sutton on the car right up.
Kathy she's a little off. She kept asking everybody to do the conga line. And I don't think anybody wanted to do it. And the next thing I know, she's in my face saying that she wanted to go home. And if you don't go home with me, you are not my friend.
I saw some commotion, but I didn't really see anything. And I've known Kathy for a long time, more than some of the other girls in the group. Like, how bad could the behavior have been?
I ran to the bathroom and I came in at the girls and mostly at Kyle.
Kathy was saying that she was pissed off and that I had to leave the club right now. I was very confused because I didn't even know what happened. So I said, no, I'm not doing that. We just got here, Kathy.
Eventually, Rinna said to Kathy, come on, I'll take you home. And then they both left. We get in the Sprinter van and Kathy starts screaming about everything. And she's saying things like, I'm going to take down NBC, Bravo. I will take down this show single-handedly. I will f***ing ruin you all. What in the holy f***ing hell?
I can't even repeat what she said last night. We get back to Kyle's house, and it's just the two of us. And it gets worse. She takes her glasses off. She throws them on the ground. She's jumping up and down, breaking her glasses. She's pounding the walls, and she's screaming, she made Kyle. Kathy's responsible for Kyle. And she said, I will destroy Kyle and her family if it's the last thing I ever do.
Before I play Erica's play-by-play of what Lisa Rinna was telling her on her text messages about Kathy Hilton's behavior, I wanted to touch base with you guys about Lisa Rinna's opinion that the reason that Kathy Hilton goes for Kyle in her rant is because Kyle, she's jealous of Kyle. Now, I've said this in my live, which I did last week with Thea from Your Moms Are Watching. Hi, Thea. And basically, I think that's not true. I'm a Pisces. I'm born March 1st. Kathy's March 13. We have some similar, weird idiosyncrasies. Maybe it's a Pisces thing. I'm terrible with names. I forget what I'm talking about, easily. I say things always kind of incorrectly. Also, it's very difficult to get me to get angry. But then if you get me angry, I rant. So I get this whole thing. And one of my biggest pet peeves, weirdly, is loyalty. I don't understand people that can change suddenly on a position about something I find important. And I can see that Kathy, in especially drunk and tired and lacking oxygen like Aspen's, high altitude, I think Kathy really was pissed at Kyle for not helping her, knowing that this is going to be on TV. And I think Kathy sees it that she's done a lot of favors for Kyle in her life. When she was young, I guarantee Kathy, took care of her, advised her, tried to tell her what to do was the right thing and position her properly, especially after the mom died. I think she tried to help Mauricio with Rick Hilton and getting him jobs and getting him going, which legitimately did get him going in his ridiculous career. I think she was always there to support Kyle. And then, Kyle, I'm not sure, was really there to support Kathy and maybe didn't bring anything to the table for Kathy ever, because she was always playing the younger sister and never being like, well, now that I'm an adult, let me give you something, Kathy, for all the years you gave to me. And so I think this was Kathy kind of seeing this situation as different. I think she was like, I don't think she cares about Mauricio's success or not. I don't think she cares about Kyle's success or not. I think she saw it so plainly as, I'm going on your show, which I didn't really want to go on for years. And now I'm trying to leverage it to my family's benefit, which you've done for years. And you have tried to, in Aspen, do nothing but make me look bad. And when I'm vulnerable, instead of stepping up like a sister and just not, who cares if it's right or wrong, just standing by my side, you don't. So you want your storyline to be, that we're divided. And I want our storyline to be that we're together. And I think that hurt Kathy, and she was drunk, and that's why she ranted. I think she meant every damn word that she said. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Because if NBC shot what allegedly she said, drunk, stupid, she's obviously got some, the family has had many issues with saying racially insensitive things, chalk it up to ignorance, I don't know, or just being raised incorrectly or not being in touch with reality. But the bottom line is, I do believe that she was ashamed of what she said and did. And Bravo and NBC were like, well, we're going to just show it anyway. And I think she was like, oh, hell no, you're not. I'm going to have my lawyers get involved because I am a Hilton. And you forget this. I'm not a housewife. I'm a Hilton. And I do believe that's at play here. Now, whether or not you like her for or hate her for her, that's your business. But that's what I think happened. Now, I do want to say that I think Lisa Rinna was a good friend to Kyle Richards on this episode. I disagree with her reasoning behind why Kathy behaved the way she did, but I do think she was a good friend to Kyle, and I loved seeing that. What I think why this is hitting home so hard for Lisa and why she's coming so hard for Kathy is that allegedly Kathy said anti-LGBTQ and some racist slurs in the nightclub. They chose to cut that out, but that is what is being alleged. And I think Lisa is particularly sensitive to this because she was attacked by the fans for wearing a Sid and Nancy outfit because she sported, it was very insensitive. The costume, it was true to what Sid and Nancy wore, but it was insensitive to wear it. Because Harry Hamlin wore a giant Nazi symbol on his t-shirt in the costume. This is what they talk about with Sid and Nancy for the Sex Pistols, okay, who were active in 1975 to 1978. So he wore Nazi symbols allegedly, not because he was a Nazi, but because he was trying to do shock value and anarchy. And he was trying to show, that he didn't care about what was considered respectful. It was part of an anarchist movement, but it was anti-Semitic any way you look at it and insensitive completely. And that was, I guess, the idea in this really intense punk rock era. Now, obviously, Lisa was just trying to copy Sid and Nancy, but it came off really tasteless, and I think she got a lot of heat. She wanted Kathy to experience the heat that she experienced for the slurs that she said in the Caribou nightclub, allegedly. And she felt that the fact that it was being edited out was unfair. And so at the basis of all of this is a jealousy of Kathy, because Kathy is not playing by the rules of what all the other women have to play by. She is using, allegedly, attorneys to pressure re-edits of the show, and she's going to, she went to the reunion allegedly with her publicist, which the other women don't generally do. And, she's had a little bit of control, I guess, over how they're going to depict her on the last 3 episodes and the reunion. And so as a result of that, Lisa's furious, because she's like, I want everybody to be treated fairly. If they make a mistake, they should be scrutinized like all of us. And this comes across in Erica's testimony, which I'm going to play now.
We were talking about Aspen. Diana and I were talking about Kathy's behavior and Kathy running in and out and being really angry. So I'm going to tell you why I think Lisa Rinna left. She took Kathy home, and it got worse. In the Sprinter and at Kyle's house.
A little gift set for you. Isn't that
No, originally it's rumored.
It was not a Kathy I had ever seen before. Not a Kathy
That
I'd
I
ever
can tell
seen
you.
before. Remember, be careful of those who have a lot to protect. I don't have anything to protect.
I just feel like I've literally.
I don't know why anyone's afraid of Kathy Hilton. I'm not here to protect anybody. They certainly have not protected me.
Okay, so let me stop this for a second. The reason, what was originally supposedly in this conversation was Erica telling Dorit that she overheard the racial slur in Caribou Club and the anti-LGBTQ slur made by Kathy. And then also the depiction of what happened with Lisa, but they cut that out. Some insider intel. Now, listen. I need you guys to know this, because it's really important just to have all of this as you kind of decide how you feel about everything. Okay, here we go.
The person that's going to accept it the most is Kyle.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Can't have a problem before Farrah's wedding.
Lisa and I were texting as she took Kathy home. I got into a Sprinter with Kathy and she had an absolute meltdown. I've never heard or seen anything like it in my life. Anger, screaming, throwing things, crying. I'm locked in my room. Me. Oh my God. In her defense, I've said some ugly things myself. The problem I have here is that everybody's very quick to condemn my behavior the night after.
Okay, Erica, it's not always about you, lady.
Let's have a little sensitivity to the victim. I'm not caving into some
Fine.
I stay here and
Who's
fuck up
Erica?
tonight
Fire her.
with these bitches.
Come on.
What about the facts, dumb?
But if we're going to talk about Erica's behavior, are we going to talk about everybody in this group?
No. That's the answer. Okay, so let's leave that there now, but I want to talk about Crystal's post. What does this mean? You guys, tell me what you think this means. Okay, so here's the post that happened. Forever I-67 says, it's because you have morals. Some people in your circle don't, to Crystal. And Crystal responded, many are no longer in the circle. And then she gave a heart and a thank you sign. So what do you guys think about that? Some of the fans think this is an indicator that some of the women are possibly going to get fired. Some of the fans believe that there has been kind of restructuring in the fringe group. And so, Crystal's on the outs with everybody. And so she might be getting iced out of the show. Not like by the producers, but by the women. Like, there's a lot to read into this. But I will tell you something that's very juicy. And guess what? It has to do with this gossip. And that is that Crystal lied about what she saw in the Caribou Club on camera in her confessional video too. And so that could be a reason that the women are upset with her. Now, if she lied, it either happened because production egged her to lie, right? They needed someone to tell a different thing, which is good for Crystal because it means she's really, really a housewife at this point. Like, they want her to stay. Or she decided to lie to protect Kathy Hilton because Kathy Hilton asked her to. So I wanted to, you guys have been asking me about some of the influencers, including the real Andy of Beverly Hills. Hi, Andy. That we're talking about the relationship between Dorit and Diana Jenkins and PK and Roger Jenkins. So I just want to say that, okay, so Roger Jenkins, back in 1994 to 2009, worked at Barclays Capital Private Equity Group. And in 2008, he became the executive chairman of investment banking and investment management in the Middle East. And he ended up getting criminal charges brought against Barclay Bank in regards to a deal that they did that Diana Jenkins was involved with, that involved Qatari money saving Barclay Bank or rescuing Barclay Bank. And he was later acquitted of these criminal charges, or the Barclay Bank was, however they did it. I'm not sure if they did it to him personally or if they did it through Barclay Bank. So let me read you something from BBC. 3 former top Barclay executives have been cleared of fraud charges linked to how the bank raised billions from Qatar in the financial crisis. The Serious Fraud Office has alleged the bank has given Qatar secret fees that helped it survive without a UK government bailout in 2008. Roger Jenkins, Tom Collaris, and Richard Both were found not guilty on all charges by the jury in under 6 hours. Former Barclay chief executive John Varley was acquitted in June of 2019. The acquittal of the 3 men is a blow to the SFO and draws a line under an ambitious 7.5-year investigation that led to the first criminal charge in Britain against senior financiers, at a major bank over the credit crisis conduct. An SFO spokesperson said, "Our prosecution decisions are always based on the evidence that is available, and we are determined to bring perpetrators of serious financial crime to justice. Wherever our evidential and public interest tests are met, we will always endeavor to bring this before a court." Mr. Both, when leaving the Old Bailey on Friday morning, told the BBC, "I'm very relieved about the verdict, and particularly given that I was cleared in 2017 by the Financial Conduct Authority." They have multiple authorities that can take action for wrongdoing in the UK. You can lose your ability to be a director and stuff. He added that the SFO should never have brought the case. Mr. Both said the last 6 years has been tough, but phone calls recorded during the crisis and played to the jury made clear he was innocent. Obviously, there are ups and downs, but today is a big up, obviously. I frankly couldn't have done more in 2008 to make sure the bank didn't do anything that it regretted. And that really comes out on all tapes, and I think that was obvious to the jury. The acquittal of the 3 former Barclay executives is the only time a jury has ruled on criminal allegations against senior bankers for events in the 2008 crisis. The senior executives in this trial, which began in October, Roger Jenkins, 64, Tom Collaris, 64, and Richard Both, 61, were not the top bosses of Barclays. Instead, they were between 1 and 4 ranks down from the board of directors in the bank's hierarchical structure. The allegations centered on a giant fundraising exercise in 2008, which enables Barclay to escape the nationalization forced on its competitors RBS, Lloyds, and HBOS. The defendants were accused by prosecutors of conspiring to commit fraud in connection with that fundraising effort. They argued that it was not fraud, and that if alternatively it was judged to be fraud, they were not the ones who should be held accountable for it. Their actions, their barristers said, were approved and negotiated at the top of the bank and signed off by the bank top lawyers. In the end, the jury took less than 6 hours to find in their favor. By the way, the UK system of justice is the most fair system in the world, okay? Like, US isn't even close to UK level of fair. In the US, they probably, and this is speculation and not me saying it like in any vicious way, but like they wouldn't have as good a chance. Let's just say that. In the end, the jury took less than 6 hours to find in their favor. The decision comes as a setback to the Serious Fraud Office, which took years to launch this prosecution, and now the case has been thrown out. Now, P.K. Kemsley was sued by Barclays Bank. He filed for bankruptcy in the UK, and the Barclays Bank tried to pursue him in America because they believed that he had taken assets that he hid in the bankruptcy in the UK, and that he had assets in the US he was trying to hide, and they sued him in the US. They were owed $5 million in a loan that he would have taken before the financial crisis of 2008, which means he would have taken that loan probably around, I'm guessing, maybe 2007, 2006, maybe 2005, something in that time, because that's when everybody was taking out loans left and right, okay, during that period. And I do know some real estate developers in London, so this is how I know this. Anyway, another sidebar. After this whole scandal broke on Barclays Bank by the fraud squad in the UK, they actually killed off the division forever that did this transaction for the bank. There was like a department, I don't know if it was the Middle East department or what, but they killed it. So is it possible that PK would have known Diana Jenkins socially and Roger Jenkins? Absolutely. 100%. Did he sign off on PK's loan for $5 million or pursue PK in court in the US? No, he didn't. Another gentleman did, who has the last name of Jenkins, actually, but not related to Diana Jenkins. And now, for sure, Diana Jenkins and Roger Jenkins know so much about PK Kemsley and probably Dorit because of that they definitely could take, really cause problems for Dorit on the show. So it's not surprising that PK and Dorit, I don't think it has to do with the Barclay loan. I think it has to do with the fact that she knows all the gossip in London and she knows a lot of people in common with PK. So I would imagine that, she could cause trouble for them, but I don't know if she will. No, the rumor is that Erica Jane Girardi is trying to get Diana to do that. But I mean, why would Diana do that for Erica, right? Wouldn't PK Kemsley and Dorit be a better alliance for her? I'm not sure Erica has any value at this point, socially or otherwise, unless there's something we don't know. And there always could be with the Girardis, something we don't know. Okay, so some of you guys asked me to talk about the Radar Online article that broke that said that Lisa Rinna was asking for $2 million in order to renew her contract with Bravo. And you guys reached out to me on DMs last night and asked what I thought about it. And I wanted to say that I do believe it's true. I believe that Lisa Rinna, as I've said on many of my previous shows, that Lisa Rinna has received that she wants to be renewed. They want to renew Lisa Rinna. I know. You guys get upset all you want, but that's the case. And that really the issue is money now. And that's where this may fall down. And all of these posts that Lisa Rinna has been doing have been about her LeBron James post and, leaking this information probably to Radar is about Bravo knowing where she stands on things, which is she believes that she is really the one who's making the drama on the show. No matter how many of you guys are like, well, I'm not going to watch next season. The reality of this situation is Evolution has a real problem, which is none of these women want to look bad and they don't want to be the villain. There's only 2 women willing to be the villain right now and a little bit Sutton, because that's how she landed her role as a housewife, honestly. And that was Lisa Rinna and Erica Jane Girardi. I think is playing out here is Lisa's like, I have been willing to be the villain of this show for many years. And I've been willing to create all this drama and be hated by the fans for the other women to be able to be like, look pretty and have a nice ride and stay. And you have this big ensemble cast now because of it. But if I go, who are you going to have be the villain? Who? Kathy Hilton? She's not going to let you make her the villain. She's going to sue you. You think Kyle's going to let you do it? To an extent, but you can't have her be hated too much because she's the secret producer of the show. So she's the anchor, right? So that can't be her. Crystal certainly isn't going to make you let her, look bad. She'll quit. She doesn't need the show that much. She loves it, but she doesn't need it. So this is what I think Lisa's attitude towards things are, and they do have a very difficult question to ask themselves, which is, who will be the villain if they get rid of Lisa and Erica? And I do think Erica isn't as guaranteed as everybody seems to think. That's just my opinion. Okay, you guys, like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Sorry I'm late today, but it's been a lot of content. I've had a show like a day, and it's been rough. It's been tough to keep up. But I just wanted to say I love you guys, and thank you for supporting my channel. And, me no matter what, right? Because that's important to me, because I, like Kathy, love loyalty. Bye, you guys. And I'd rather have 5 followers that are loyal than like 5 million that aren't.